So I'm saving $145 a month with one change in my budget. Y'all, I'm so excited to talk about this. Like, I put on a real bra today. I don't have on like a bralette. I don't have on a sports bra. I put on a legit bra to come talk to y'all about this. So let's get into it right now. Welcome back to Single Mom Money, guys. This is your place for building wealth, dodging debt, and learning practical everyday money tips for single moms. So as I mentioned earlier, I am saving quite a bit of money year over year for one change to my budget. And that one change is changing my cell phone provider. So if you watch some of my other budget videos, you probably heard me complaining about how much I hate Sprint. Hate them, y'all. I know hate is a strong word, but so let me give you a rundown of like why it was a hot mess to work with them. So one, the sales guy quoted me a wrong amount for my bill. It's supposed to be about $118, I think it was, a month. And my bill was $175 a month. Customer service is bad. I don't know who their vendor is, but they need to, T-Mobile, now that y'all own Sprint, you need to reevaluate that vendor relationship. It's terrible. Coverage sucks. So everybody pretty much knows Sprint has terrible coverage. So that wasn't like a shocker. Everything you would want out of a cell phone, they did not have. I was looking for alternatives in cell phone service. And I knew that I needed to really get my cell phone costs down because, as you know too, I am unemployed. I lost my job a couple months ago. So I have a huge incentive recently to like really get the cell phone thing taken care of because it's one of the few bills that I have some flexibility around. So in that search, I found Xfinity Mobile. So you probably know Xfinity as like a cable company, formerly Comcast or whatever they changed their name, Comcast/Xfinity Cable, who I use for my internet service provider only. And I really have been liking my service and experience with Xfinity lately. Their customer service has been like top notch. Seriously, I've had some phenomenal experiences with their customer service team, both on the phone and in their actual office, because I have offices like across the street from my house, so I've gone in a few times. So one of the customer service reps, actually, when I called about my internet, told me that they were rolling out their mobile service and how she uses it. And so there are certain things that really drew me in about Xfinity and made me actually ultimately make the switch. So let's talk about how I made the switch and what was being offered to me. The number one thing actually that drew me in was the cost of their plans is really low. They have unlimited plans with 5G. That's like the fastest you can get now for $45 a month. And that's unlimited data and everything, which I think is pretty good, especially because there's no contract. It's month to month. And then what I like about it even more so, through Xfinity, you can change your plan whenever you want. So if you have unlimited service and you decide that you want to switch to a lower gig plan, so instead of unlimited, if you want to do like me, which is the service I have, which is a 3 gig per month plan, you can go on their app and it's really simple to use. I love their app. It's like you can tell they put a lot of thought into the design. You can go in and change your plan around, which I thought was, the flexibility was awesome, and the ease of use from a user perspective was really good. And no, I'm not being paid to talk about Xfinity Mobile in a good light. This is like my honest, genuine opinion about their service. So anyway, I love the flexibility and the low cost of their plans. The plan that I have is 3 gigs a month for $30. And let me tell you, I switched in June, right before I went to Michigan, where I'm from originally, to see my parents for almost a month. And I drove 12 hours with that cell phone. Keep in mind, I had great coverage the whole way. Even when I was in the mountains of Kentucky and Tennessee, I had excellent coverage because Xfinity uses Verizon towers. So that's another really key point for me and why I decided to choose Xfinity Mobile, because they have great coverage through Verizon. So anyway, I drove, I went home, I was on Wi-Fi, but I was driving around while I was home using GPS, streaming YouTube and music. drove all the way back to Georgia in that same billing cycle and still did not hit 3 gigs worth of data. So, I mean, the 3 gigs for me is like plenty, and that $30 a month feels really good, y'all. Even with the taxes they add, I think it's a total of $32. So they have great flexible options. The app is easy to use, great coverage through Verizon. And then the customer service is really good. And I got $50 gift card for switching service to Xfinity Mobile. So the gift card is actually coming in the mail now. So, I mean, I just all around had a really good experience. And I can't think of any better way right now to save as much money as I did from any other switch that I could have made. All right, so some things to know about Xfinity Mobile. Just in case you decide to switch to them, know that one, you do have to have Xfinity service. So I have their internet for my home. You can have cable or you can have both, but you already have to have some sort of Xfinity product set up in order to get Xfinity Mobile. If you are curious about switching, make sure that you either already have Xfinity or have access to Xfinity service in your area. Number 2, Xfinity requires that you do auto debit for your payment. So if that's something you don't want to do, this might not be an option for you. But for me to auto debit $30 a month, I was like, sure, why not? If that's something that you maybe are reluctant to do, perhaps you can get a card, like a Visa card or something, and load money to it like every 3 months, put enough for a few months worth of bills and just let them auto debit that. And I will say on the app, it's really easy to change your billing method around. So you can go and change it to different cards really simply. Like I said, just 5 stars for the app. Is super user friendly, easy to use. So you'll be able to figure that part out easily if you want to change your billing method. Number 3, Xfinity Mobile does support international calls, and you can also still use your phone while you're traveling internationally. But I will say, I think the cost is kind of expensive to me. I want to say most places in the Caribbean, it was like 10 cents per text message, 25 cents per minute. I think there are cheaper alternatives. I know quite a few people use WhatsApp while they're traveling abroad, and they'll make Wi-Fi calls and stuff like that. So, I mean, I think there are alternatives, but they do support international calls if that's something you do, and texting internationally as well. But just know that there's a fee attached with it, and I think the fee is kind of high. So, all right, so let's talk about alternatives. So one of the other alternatives to really low cost cell phone plans is Mint Mobile. So I did try Mint Mobile out earlier this year. I didn't have the greatest experience. If you are not tech savvy, this might not be the way to go for you, because you have to do all the porting and setting up the phone yourself, which I found to be a bit cumbersome. They had good instructions, but it wasn't the easiest thing I've ever done, I'll say that. And then Mint Mobile as well, one of the things I actually like about it is they allow you to pay your bill in advance. So you can pay in advance as far as like a year, I believe. So, I mean, that's kind of nice if you're that sort of person likes to pay bills like me and more lump sums. You could pay like $300 and be done for the entire year with Mint, which I think is like phenomenal. Especially if you have really good service through them. I, in Atlanta area, did not have great service with Mint Mobile, but I think it's worth a try because their plans are relatively low. And don't quote me on the exact cost, but I want to say their plans are similar to Xfinity, where you get like 1, 3, or 10 gigs. And I don't think any of the plans are over like $50 or $60 a month. All right, another alternative to Xfinity besides Mint Mobile is Spectrum Mobile. So you'll see a lot of cable companies are like getting into this mobile space because they pretty much already have the network and the logistics stuff figured out. Spectrum, just like Xfinity, does require you have service through them. As far as I know, again, don't quote me, do your own research if you're interested. But for those who don't have access to Xfinity, maybe Spectrum is another option for you. Their plans are very similar to Xfinity's in that you get 1 gig, but their 1 gig plan is $14 instead of $15 for Xfinity. And then they have a $14 per gig plan. So you could technically get 3 gigs and pay like $42 a month. You can get that same 3 gigs for $30 through Xfinity, but still $42 is not a lot of money in my opinion for cell phone coverage. service, and they also have an unlimited plan through Spectrum for $45 a month, which is similar to Xfinity Mobile. They have the same plan for $45 per month for unlimited service. Now, I don't know what tower Spectrum uses, and I can't vouch for how great the coverage is, but like I said, it is an alternative if Xfinity Mobile is not an option for you, but you're looking for a way to like bring your cell phone costs down, okay? All right, guys, that is my experience with terrible Sprint. Don't ever do that. My experience with Xfinity, far superior, and some alternatives for those of you who don't have access to Xfinity. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you find a way to save some money on that cell phone cost. If you know of some other alternatives, feel free to drop those in the description box. And if you have any questions for me about my service, you know, drop that. I shouldn't say description box, drop them in the comments. What am I talking about? Leave me some comments to let me know what your experience has been, if you know, are using some of the other alternatives, or what people can do to just save some money in this cell phone cost realm, because I think this is one of the areas in our budget that we can like really drive down costs and save some money for ourselves. All right, so thank you again for your continued support, for all of those who've been rocking with me. Welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me on my journey. And if you like this video, found it helpful, all that good stuff, like, comment, share it with your friends and family, and stick with me, more to come. All right, guys, it has been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and go be great. All right, this is Single Mom Money signing off, and I will see you guys soon. Take care. Besitos. Mwah.